So we've got a blank note now. Let's start creating a new one. Wait, what? But that works. Is it creating new ones? Gosh dang it. So I can't type in it, and I can't. We fixed this. We fix this if there's already an ID in the URL. So that works if there's already an ID up here. But if it's blank, we're back to that same old problem. Why? So note form JS. If it finds the note in the list, great, it's going to update state. Otherwise, it's going to set state to blank. So if there's no ID in the URL, it's not going to do the right thing. So we kind of fixed a version of this problem before in save. So when we save the note, we make sure that we set current note in state. And that's what keeps the form up to date, right? But that's not what we do anymore. Now when we create the new note and it gets an ID, we need to change the URL to have the new ID. So instead of setting current note, because that doesn't do anything for us anymore, we need to make sure that we change the URL. So in this case, we have to do it programmatically. We're in the middle of a method. So how do we do it? You wanted to do it earlier. Using history push. So we're redirecting, really. If it's a brand new note, we need to redirect to the URL for that note. But we're not in JSX. We don't have the redirect component. Instead, we have the history object, which is available to us on the props. So history. Now in HTML5, that history object is on the page kind of all the time. But this is the React router version of it. So it will keep the HTML5 push state in sync. So what we need to do, instead, we won't bother setting current note anymore. That's not doing anything for us. But what we can do is push our new URL on there. So how do we do that? So if there's already a node ID, that's an existing node. And that works fine. If it's a brand new note, though, we set the ID, we push the note onto the array, and now we need to push the URL onto our history. So that we get to through this.props.history. .push. And what we want to push on is /notes/ the new ID, which is note.id. Note.id. Make sense? That's kind of the equivalent of setting current note now. Just making sure our URL is right. Let's go down to the bottom here. We've got a blank note. Hey. It works now. Let's watch that again. Watch the URL. Hit the new button. URL is /notes. Start typing. And it immediately changes. All right. That seems to be the fix. Except, it's probably redirecting, even if it's an existing note, though. So as we keep doing this, I mean, we can't see anything happening. Oh, no, we already fixed that. Yeah, never mind. By doing it inside the else here. Yeah, good. Now we could end up pushing that on there before we've actually updated state. Now I typed that pretty fast and it didn't seem to be a big problem. But let's see if there's anything a little weird. It's doesn't really seem to be a problem, but it seems like we kind of don't want to do that until state has been updated, until it is in the array. So I think I'm going to move this down. Now, interesting thing about set state, it's actually asynchronous. That is, it happens in the background. So if I put a new line of code underneath it, this .set state will not necessarily have finished by the time it runs this. But it doesn't return a promise, so we can't use .then. Instead, you pass a callback as the second argument to set state, like this. Just pass a second argument here. And then whatever you put here is guaranteed to run after you have set state. And although I didn't do it this way this morning, I think it would be better if we did this there. In which case, we want to make sure we don't do it if you're already on that page. We only want to do it if it's a new node. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to create a new variable, and I'm going to use let this time, you'll see. So let should redirect equal false. So assume we don't redirect. But if it's a brand new node, then we need to redirect. So should redirect is true. And this is the difference between let and const. I can reassign this a totally new value. Can't do that with const. And then I'll say if should redirect. So you see what I'm doing? I only want to redirect if we're not already on that page. And I don't want to do it until I've already updated state. Because by the time Noteforms gets that ID out of the URL, I want to make sure the thing is in the array by then. So I don't want to redirect until after it's already updated state. Now all of this happens very, very fast. So let's see that work. So brand new note. So you can't really tell the difference. Typing is a little sluggish actually right this second. What's going on here? It is a little sluggish actually. If we do it the other way, does it make any difference? Is it faster? I'm just going to try this out. It's a little sluggish either way. Feels like it's more sluggish than it ought to be. Where's our handle change? There it is. Reset state right away. Oh. Well, that doesn't seem to make any difference in the performance. So maybe it's just my browser. How's yours? Does typing feel a little behind? I'll check if there's, I'll look into that later. So what do we do? Redirect appropriately after save.